One thing I haven't really talked about so far on here are the weapons the Hololive members wield. Unfortunately, in most cases all we get presented is the weapon, and not much about what it can do or how the respective member uses them. This is definitely something I wish would get brought up more often. One thing we do have though are the fire designs of the weapons, meaning there is only one thing we can really rank them by: how awesome they look and how well they fit the member. And for those where we know what they do, we can also include that a bit. This is of course my personal opinion on this, so feel free to let me know your favorites. And I'll be very nice with the definition of the weapons here. It's not really a weapon ranking, it's more a tools they have with them in their official artwork ranking. Yep, I think I'll make that the title of this video. Rolls off the tongue so well. Yet again, there is one person that has to be excluded from this list, and that is Iris, since she really has nothing I could use for this list. I thought about maybe using her crystal-like crown halo thing, but that would really push it. In that case, I would also have to count like Ina's halo, which really isn't a weapon or a tool of some sort. So unfortunately, no Iris in this video. Last place for me is gonna be Bay, because I got no clue what it really is and what it's for. It just says Chaos Toy right here, and according to Bay, it is just a toy to keep her company. But I really have no clue what else it is here for. It also doesn't look particularly cool or interesting, with no clues to what it could do by itself. I bet there is someone in the comments that happened to catch a stream where Bay said more about it, but I'm really clueless. Didi and Dum Dum, sorry, but you're last. Next up are Kiara's sword and shield. Now, let me ask you something. Am I supposed to be scared of these? This looks like a toy sword. And why is it so damn short? I would be more scared by Mihawk's little necklace knife than from this thing. I bet it can do cool stuff, but it just looks so goofy to me. The shield could also use some more girth to it. I mean, I get it, Kiara doesn't need those to fight on a high level, she's a damn phoenix after all, but these just look very unimpressive. Now I have Cecilia here, and that's for the sole reason that I don't like how her lens looks. You know how her lens is supposed to look like? This is how her lens should look like. Rel did it right. Anyways, I know those weapons are also meant to look aesthetic and like fit the vibe of the holder, but from a damn lens, I expect more. Next up is Raora's little nail claw thingies. And I honestly like them a lot, but that's the case for every single placement coming up. And unfortunately, there is just not much to work with, as you can see. Raora is not really battle focused, so it makes sense for her weapon to be nothing over the top, but that doesn't help much in this particular ranking. Shoutouts to the homie Chatino though. Next up is Fauna's golden apple, which looks-wise is for sure one of the more boring items on the list. The interesting thing about it is of course its meaning and also what it's capable of. An item that it's able to restore planet Earth is definitely something that can't be on the lower end. But to be honest, looks-wise, I might like Fauna's apple the least, but the sheer power it holds manages to put it higher up. Shiori's feather is in a similar boat, with it literally just being a feather. To be fair, for feather standards, it's pretty cool, but that's nothing that would boost its placement by a lot. Now there's probably no tool that fits a character like Shiori better than a feather, and we can be pretty damn sure that she needs that feather to use her powers properly, whatever those might be. We might just not know what she uses the feather for, but it surely is something exciting. Or just a diary, I honestly have no clue. Mume might not have one super amazing tool with her, but multiple decently cool looking ones. We can tell that she is prepared for whatever adventure she is going for. Both the knife and the lantern fit so well aesthetically with her outfit. Mume's design is honestly perfection. It doesn't get any better than this, and the cool tools she has with her play a big part in that. Next up we have Ame with her magnifying glass and her pocket watch. And her... I am not too sure what those are called in English right now. But they are the least important anyways. The magnifying glass is for sure the less interesting of the two. But I gotta give it points for the sweet little mustache on it. Just gives it a little personality. But the watch is for sure what carries here. First we also have a mustache, which is always nice. And secondly, this watch allows Ame to... Why am I even explaining this? You guys know what Ame's watch does. I just remembered she also has those syringes. Dude, this detective is prepared. I have no clue what she needs the syringes for, apart from drugging her audience. Next up is Ina, and I did include the tentacles here because she kinda does use them as a tool, and it's also not really a part of her body. Maybe debatable, but I counted it here. But it barely matters anyways. In my opinion, the tentacles aren't that cool anyways. It's the book that gives Ina displacement, because I think a book, especially one that has both mystery and gag behind it, like Ina's, is such a cool item to be carrying. Like, if a fighter pulls up and the guy has a damn book as his item of choice, you already know you're getting cooked. And it's no different in Ina's case. The moment she reads from the book, it's probably over. We don't really know, but yeah, probably. Next up is Bijou. And I mean, she has damn wings. There is no way I'm ranking wings low. And I swear to God, if anyone comments something like, but Iris has wings too, these are not wings. Okay, there are wings, but bear with me, guys. I already scripted and halfway recorded this video before noticing that Iris has wings. Let's just put Iris here as well. You know, first I was like, oh, Iris has wings. Let's just rewrite the script a bit. But then I was like, wouldn't this bit be funnier? Yeah, I don't know. Just put Iris around here if you're triggered by this. Thanks. Back to Bibu. Apart from those wings, I also counted her flying crystals, since their main use seems to be as a weapon. At least I have not heard anything about her using them for anything else, so I assume they're weapons. And they just fit Bijou's overall vibe very well. Next up, we have someone that starts the kind of weapons I really like. Big, cool looking weapons. Out of those, Nerissa's is the worst for me. I don't really like the concept of a fork staff too much, and it also seems a bit random on Nerissa. I gotta give it to her, it's unique, but as already said, it feels like some random guy in cover was like, hey, let's give Nerissa a fork staff. And probably no one in that room even knew what that is. But I'm talking about it like it would really bother me. It honestly doesn't. And it looks both fancy and cool at the same time. Now I'm gonna be honest, I usually would put something like Gura's trident way lower on this list just because it's so generic. But let's think about it. What else are we supposed to give Gura? There is no other weapon that's more fitting for Gura than a trident. It had to be done. And to be fair, it's also super interesting. The texture of it makes it appear like it's entirely made out of water, which might very well be the case, but we just don't have a confirmation about that. And they also made it a little more fancy with the little bits of decoration, or rather variation on it. So I like it, but only because Gura was pretty much made for a trident like that. Next up is Crony, and let me tell you, I love myself some dual blades. Dual wielding swords or any kind of blades is the coolest thing to ever exist. I don't wanna hear anything else. Now, there's just one thing I don't like about Crony's blades. Why did they make them so over the top fancy? Like, can you even hold them properly? Crony, be honest with me. Does it hurt to hold those for an extended amount of time? They both look way too over the top and unpractical for me to put them any higher. Also, they look more like you would use them to stab people instead of slashing. And the image of the Warden of Time running around dual stabbing people with her overly fancy blade just gives me a weird image in my head. The Fister has arrived at rank 3. Look at these, bro. These are so cool. It might be because it has pretty much become common at this point that Gigi has 2 giant gauntlets. But aren't those the perfect weapons for her? That matches so well. And it's super unique too. To come up with that needs a great mind. And it's practical too. Gigi even has a whole ventilation system going on, so she doesn't get too hot in there. I really just love those, and Gigi wields them so well. Now 1 and 2 was a toss-up, because both Kelly's scythe and Elizabeth's sword are both so cool and mighty that it was really hard to pick a favorite. Let's start with Kelly. And let me tell you, when I was a little boy, the weapon I always wanted was a damn scythe. And if I'm honest, I still want one. Whenever I see like farmers cut their grass with those, I was so jealous. I wanted to swing one of those so badly. And Kelly's looks really epic too. I really like the wooden look they gave the hilt. On the other hand, Thorn might be the most mighty blade out there. Look at that. With the little scale on it, symbolic for equality and justice. So many cool details on it. You can tell they put a lot of thought in its design. And when I put away my bias, I'll have to give it to Herb's sword. Thorn has the slight edge here. It honestly doesn't get better than this when it comes to Hololive designs. Alright, that was the ranking. Another fun little ranking for in between. Have a nice rest of your day. See ya.